Hello everyone, welcome you all in the series of dissection. Today we will learn regarding how to dissect the front of thigh. Okay, in this session we will learn first surface anatomy of the front of thigh, then how to identify or how to dissect the muscles and vessels of the front of thigh, then femoral triangle, adductor canal and femoral vein, artery, nerve, saphenous vein, then muscles of the front of thigh. So first I will discuss regarding surface anatomy. Okay, iliac crest here on each side, iliac crest on each side, that is a thick bony curve ridge which forms the lower margin of the waist. Many times, often hands are kept here. Okay, on the anterior aspect of the iliac crest, there is projection that is known as anterior superior iliac spine. Here is the anterior superior iliac spine. 5 cm posterior to the anterior superior iliac spine, there is tubercle of iliac crest. Here, outer lip, there is a tubercle of iliac crest. Then 12.5 cm below to it. Okay, 12.5 cm. Same way here. Okay, here is the anterior superior iliac spine and tubercle of iliac crest. Then below the 12.5 cm below the tubercle of iliac crest, here you can feel greater trochanter. Okay. Now here you can see fold of the groin. Fold of the groin which separates the thigh from the anterior abdominal wall. Okay. Fold of the groin which separates the thigh from the abdominal wall. Then on the medial end of the fold of the groin, here you can feel tubercle, that is known as pubic tubercle. Okay, pubic tubercle, and then here will be the pubic symphysis. Now inguinal ligament which attaches from the anterior superior iliac spine and pubic tubercle. So here will be the mid-inguinal point. Here will be the mid-inguinal point. So from where femoral artery passes. So here will be the abdominal aorta. Suppose here will be the abdominal aorta. Here will be the external and internal iliac artery. So femoral artery, that is the continuation of the external iliac artery. Okay. So from the mid-inguinal point, femoral artery passes. Now here will be the medial condyle, and above the medial condyle there is a bony projection that is known as adductor tubercle, and here will be the lateral condyle. This is the patella. Here is the patella, largest sesamoid bone, tibial tuberosity, blunt projection on the upper end of the tibia, ligamentum patelli which extends from the apex to the tibial tuberosity. Now I will discuss skin and superficial fascia. Thigh of the skin that divides into the fatty and membranous layer. Okay, that is that divides into fatty and membranous layer. Here already I have removed the fatty layer. Okay, and some part here I have kept. So this is the fatty layer. Okay, in membranous layer already I have expressed, but there is one line that is known as Holden's line. Holden's line which extends from the lateral to the pubic tubercle 8 cm. Okay, here will be the Holden's line. Okay, now importance of the Holden's line. Here will be the Holden's line. Whenever urethra get ruptures, it prevents the urine flow descent through this line. Okay, so whenever urethra get ruptures, it prevents urine flow descent beyond this line. Okay, so that is the importance of Holden's line. Here is the Holden's line. So here I am finishing the surface anatomy of the front of the thigh. Now first how to give the incision of the front of the thigh. Just you have to feel the anterior superior iliac spine. Then here will be the fold of the groin. Okay, you just have to mark and superficially up to the condyles of the tibia. Okay, then gradually you have to reflect the skin, superficial fascia. As you will remove only skin, there will be this type of the fatty layer. Here is the fatty layer. Then you will find the membranous layer. Okay, then just medially, okay, you will find great saphenous vein. Okay, Here is the great saphenous vein, okay, which extends, okay, which begins from the medial end of the dorsal venous arch. Here will be the dorsal venous arch. Here will be the dorsal venous arch, and it begins at the medial end of the dorsal venous arch and extends in front of the medial malleolus, medial to the leg, and behind the leg, behind the knee joint, and in the thigh. It pierces the cribriform fascia, and at the end it opens into the femoral vein. Here it opens into the femoral vein. So here you can see tributaries of the saphenous vein. 1, 2, 3rd. Okay, by this way, this is the saphenous vein. Okay. Now another one I am going to discuss, femoral artery. Okay, femoral artery that extends, that is the continuation of external iliac artery. As I have mentioned, here will be the abdominal aorta. Here will be the abdominal aorta. Then it has again further branches, external and internal. Then external, that is the iliac artery, that is the continuation of the femoral artery. Now it has total 6 branches, 3 superficial and 3 deep. Superficial are first here superficial external pudendal, by this way. Superficial external pudendal, superficial epigastric, then superficial circumflex iliac. By this way, there will be 3 superficial branches. Superficial external pudendal, which supplies the genital organ, epigastric, which supplies the abdominal wall, and iliac region. Okay, iliac, circumflex iliac, which supplies the iliac region. Now another deep. As you have remember superficial external pudendal, you have to remember deep external pudendal. Then another largest branch, that is the profunda femoris. Here is the profunda femoris. Okay. Then many muscular branches that I am not able to find right now. Okay. So there are total 6 branches of the femoral artery. Now I will discuss femoral canal, femoral triangle, and adductor canal. Femoral triangle, which lies in the upper 1/3 of the thigh. Upper 1/3 of the thigh. Okay. So it is bounded laterally by medial border of sartorius. Okay. Laterally by medial border of sartorius, medially by medial border of adductor longus, and base, that is formed by inguinal ligament. Base is formed by inguinal ligament. Apex, where sartorius and adductor longus meets, that is the apex. So by this way, here it forms the femoral triangle. Here it forms the femoral triangle. Now its roof is formed by skin, that is already reflected, superficial fascia and deep fascia, and inguinal lymph nodes. Okay, here is the inguinal lymph node. Here you can see. Okay, this is the inguinal lymph node, which I am going to dissect and remove. Okay, so here is the inguinal lymph node. Okay, which I have removed from the inguinal region. Another one you can see here. Okay, this is the inguinal lymph node, that is T-shape in manner, on each side, horizontal and vertical. Okay, vertical, that is already dissected and removed. Okay, that is also known as cloquet lymph node. Cloquet lymph node, and its importance is it gives indication of the metastasis of the pelvic region. Okay, its importance is it gives indication of the metastasis of the pelvic region. Now I will discuss adductor canal. Adductor canal, or that is also known as subsartorial and Hunter canals. Okay, subsartorial because it lies below the sartorius, as well as Hunter's canal because Hunter was the anatomist and surgeon at the time of treatment of, during the treatment of the aneurysm of the popliteal artery. He found this region, so that is the that is known as Hunter's canal. So here is the Hunter's canal. Okay, its contents are, here you can see, here you can see femoral artery, here you can see femoral artery, okay, as well as subsartorial plexus. Okay, it extends, adductor canal extends from the apex to the tendinous opening of the tendinous opening in the adductor magnus. So it extends from the apex of the femoral triangle to the tendinous opening in the adductor magnus. So that is regarding the extension of the adductor canal. Now its roof that is formed by fibrous membrane. Okay, here is the fibrous fatty tissue. So roof is formed by the fibrous membrane, whereas floor is formed by the adductor longus and adductor magnus muscle. Here is the adductor longus muscle. This one is the adductor longus muscle. By this way, its anterolateral boundary. It is anterolaterally bounded by vastus medialis. This is the vastus medialis, because here is the Hunter canal. So anterolaterally it is bounded by the vastus medialis. Now I will discuss regarding muscles of the front of the thigh. Okay. In the muscles of the front of the thigh, there is sartorius, then quadriceps femoris, and last one articularis genu. Okay. So one by one I will describe. Okay. As you remove the skin superficial fascia, you will find one slender muscle, that is the sartorius. It arises from the anterior superior iliac spine and upper half of the notch below the spine. And here you can see its insertion. Upper part, medial surface shaft of the tibia. Okay, and its nerve supply. Here I have already actually it is dissected. It is supplied by the femoral nerve. Okay, and its action. So this muscle arises from here and ASIs and insertion on the upper part, medial surface of the shaft of the tibia. So as it causes contraction, it causes the lateral rotation of the leg as well as abductor of the thigh. So sartorius, that is also known as Taylor's muscle. Okay, that is also known as Taylor's muscle. It helps in the tailor in their continuous position or action. Now I will discuss quadriceps femoris. Okay, quadriceps femoris. First, you have to identify straight muscle, that is rectus femoris. Okay, rectus femoris. Here is the vastus medialis. Here is the vastus lateralis. Here, this is the vastus lateralis. Okay, this one which I am holding on my right hand. Okay, this is the vastus lateralis. So rectus femoris, it has two heads. Straight head that arises from the upper half anterior inferior iliac spine, whereas reflected head that arises from the groove above the margin of the acetabulum. Okay, that arises from the groove above the margin of the acetabulum. Insertion, it inserted on the base of the patella. Here is the patella, triangular in shape. Okay, now nerve supply. Nerve supply is common of the front of thigh, that is femoral nerve. And its action, as it causes the contraction, it causes the extension of the knee. So that is also known as kicking muscle. Okay, so you have to remember rectus femoris, that is also known as kicking muscle. Now I will describe this one which I am holding in the forceps, vastus lateralis. Okay, vastus lateralis that arises from the upper part of the intertrochanteric line. Okay, here upper part of intertrochanteric line, then lateral lip of gluteal tuberosity, lateral lip of linea aspera, and here it inserted on the lateral border of the patella, base of the patella. Okay, so its action is again extension of the knee joint. Okay, now this is the vastus lateralis, and now supply femoral nerve. Now I will discuss vastus medialis. Okay, vastus medialis that arises from the lower part of the intertrochanteric line, then medial lip of linea aspera and spiral line. Okay, so this is the vastus medialis, and insertion on the medial border of the base of the patella. Okay, so again it causes the extension of the knee joint, and it helps in the it prevents the lateral displacement of the knee joint. Okay, because it arises from here and attaches the here, so it causes the prevention of the lateral displacement of the knee joint. Okay, now last one, that is intermedialis. Okay, intermedialis that arises here is the this muscle. Okay, that is the intermedialis that arises from the upper 3/4 anterior surface of the shaft of the femur, and here upper 3/4 anterior surface of the shaft of the femur, and inserted on the base of the patella. Okay, now supply common femoral nerve action is the common extension of the knee joint. Okay, so that is regarding the intermedialis. One more, here is the iliotibial tract. Okay, this is the vastus lateralis which I am holding in the forceps, and this in my thumb, that is the iliotibial tract. Facial artery thickened from the, that is known as iliotibial 5 centimeter wide band, that is known as iliotibial tract. Okay, it has two lamina, superficial and deep, and inserted on the lateral condyle of the tibia here. Okay, it helps in stabilization of the knee joint. Okay, as well as here you can see tensor facial artery muscle. Okay, which inserted on the iliotibial tract. Okay, this one tensor facial artery as well as gluteus maximus inserted on the iliotibial tract. Okay, last one, femoral articularis genu. Okay, that I have to show. To dissect the articularis genu, first you have to reflect the rectus femoris, intermedialis, and I have cleaned the vastus medialis and lateralis. Okay, so here this muscle which I am getting, this is the articularis genu, which arises from the anterior surface of the shaft of the femur, inserted on the synovial membrane of the knee joint. Okay, now supply is common femoral nerve, and action is it pulls the synovial membrane. It pulls the synovial membrane upward during the extension of the knee joint, so it prevents the damage of the knee joint. Okay, so that is the action of the articularis genu. Okay, last one, content of the femoral triangle, that I have forgot in this session. So content of the femoral triangle, otherwise I will discuss it in another session. Femoral triangle contain, here is the saphenous vein. Actually they have mentioned vein, femoral vein, artery and nerve, but femoral vein and femoral vein, this one is the femoral vein, this is the femoral artery, both are covered by the femoral sheath. So we have to gently, by blunt or fine dissection, we have to separate it from each other. Then you will found just beneath the femoral artery, you will found the femoral vein. So this is the femoral vein, this is the femoral artery, this is the femoral nerve. Femoral nerve, it has anterior division and posterior division that we will not discuss in detail. So thank you.